Hey guys, this is Charles from worshipguitarskills.com, and in this video I'm going to give you a handy way to learn the same progression in different parts of the neck using only 2-note voicings. Let me show you what's possible, and afterwards we'll break it all down. Here we go. Alright, so there were 4 different approaches that I used in this example. This, of course, is a 1-5-6-4 progression played in a 6-8 time signature. First of all, most of the things that we've done to date was in the 4-4 time signature. We've had a lot of you guys reach out saying, are there some other time signatures? And that is actually one of the discussions within our Worship Guitar Skills Academy at the moment, is looking at how you can play over other time signatures. So what we're doing now is we're introducing a new time signature, and we are looking at various ways in which you can play the voicings all across the neck, like you've seen me do in that example. So let's go now and break them down. Our first approach, the voicings that I used, they were as follows. We played A over here, E, F sharp minor, and D. These are our 4-2 voicings, which in essence is a triad with the middle note removed so that they can cut through the mix a lot easier. Now, obviously, when you just play the voicings on their own, that's totally fine, but sometimes we want to introduce a bit of a character, right? Think of language, think of the way that we speak. We can all say the same things, but as different personalities, we might phrase things slightly differently. We might place emphasis on something else. Or even when we tell the same story, the same sequence of events, we could embellish the way in which we tell the story. That's part of our interpretation and our perspective on things in life. And you want to be able, as a guitarist, to tell the story, the same story. You want to play the same chords, but you want to be able to put your own spin on it so that you are not kind of sounding like a robot. You sound like you, and you are able to reflect and give your perspective on that. So that's what I want to kind of give you an insight into how you might go about that. So for this, I've just shown you the chords, and this is kind of a 6-8 feel. So I wanted to get some kind of a melodic movement as I'm playing the chords. And for that, I simply did this. So it's an A chord, and I'm just hammering on to that third from the second, which is the second is the B, and the third is the A. Sorry, the C sharp for the A chord. When we went to the E, I just did the reverse. And I'm using hybrid picking, as you can see, my pick and my finger. So for A, the reverse for E. Then I did the same thing for F sharp minor. So I'm doing the same hammer on from the open B string to the C sharp, which becomes the 5th of F sharp minor. And then I just went up to the E note, which is the flat 7 of F sharp minor, in order to create some tension. before I went back to the D. And you can also embellish that section with the D chord. So there's many different ways in which you can approach that, but as you can see, I embellish my A, my E, my F sharp minor, when I go to that D section again. So just for fun, let's go back and play that first section that I've just done with just this first part of the neck, so you can kind of see it and hear it in context with the music again, and afterwards we'll go and check out the next middle section. All right, so after that, I moved up to the middle area of the neck. So then I played A like this, E like this, F sharp minor like this, and the same for D. That's quite interesting because if you play F sharp minor triad, it looks like this. You can hear that's that minor sound. And then when I play the D major triad, it's just that one note that changes. All right. Now, since I'm not playing the G string, and that's where the note that changes between F sharp minor and D occurs, I am actually having the same two notes for both F sharp minor and D. That's one of the cool things when you learn these 4/2 voicings, you start to see similarities between the voicings. So those are the chords: A, E, F sharp minor, as well as D. Now, different areas of the neck will lean itself to different types of embellishments. So for example, if I play a D chord, those embellishments just naturally falls under your fingers in that area. You can't exactly do that exact same thing when you play an F bar chord. So certain areas of the neck, the way that the notes are organized, it's just going to lean itself to things that are technically easy and simple to do. Now for this one, I obviously couldn't hammer on to my higher note from the previous note, because then that would be something like that. So it's kind of an awkward position, and also I'm getting that sus4 sound, which is not as pleasant as the ninth when I go to the third. So in this case, instead of embellishing melodically, I decided to embellish a bit more on a rhythmic point of view, to use a very repetitive picking pattern. And this is kind of reminiscent of a song like Reckless Love, where they've got that very repetitive rhythmic feel that just drives throughout the song. So for this one, I basically played those 4 voicings, and I played it like this. So just that simple, repetitive pick finger and alternating between those two pick finger. It adds a really nice feel. And a little bit of a tip here is my note that I'm picking is not actually happening on 1. My high note is happening on 1. So it's a 1. So that high note is happening on all of those strong beats. That is as simple as that. And when I went to the D chord, even though my note stayed the same, I just wanted to have a little bit of a movement there, so I did this. I just did a quick hammer on with the D note over there, which is my E hammering to F sharp, which is the third of D. And that's the same embellishment that we had in A, which 12 frets higher will look like this. But I just did it over here in D. So that's a nice melodic embellishment that I threw in there with that simple, repetitive rhythmic pattern. Let's play that section again with a track, and then afterwards we'll hop on to the next area of the neck and I'll show you what I did there. right, so now for our third part, let's look at the chords A, E, F sharp minor, D, A, E, F sharp minor, D. Now what I'm doing with this one is I'm kind of combining what I did rhythmically and melodically the first 2 times, which is adding in the melodic embellishment and then having that repetitive picking pattern. So that one sounded something like this. So I'm just sliding from that major 7th into the root note of A. And then for the E chord, I'm doing what we've already done. Exactly the same thing that I did over A, but this time over F sharp minor, where I'm sliding in from the 2nd into the minor 3rd. And then I went to D over here, and obviously that A is my 5th of the D, but then I went a little bit of an unconventional melodic embellishment because I'm using that sharp 4, which is actually quite common in worship music, that kind of Lydian sound. Very cool. A lot of tension with a sweet resolution there. And that's basically what that section was. So let's go ahead and play that again with the track so you can hear it in context. All right, and for our final version there, I thought I'll just do a bit of an exercise. This isn't the kind of thing I would actually play on a Sunday. It's a little bit too all over the place, but it is a nice exercise for you to now combine all 3 voicings within the same bar. So for A, we add... which in essence is just A. So it's the A over here, which is technically a 2nd inversion, a root position, a 1st inversion, and a 2nd inversion. And of course, I can use my hammer-ons there. Then for E, we had the root position, 1st inversion, 2nd inversion, and the root position. For F sharp minor, then D. And picking wise, so rhythmically it's a little tricky depending on if you know how you would count it. But in essence, if you look at what I'm doing, I'm starting with my 1st embellishment, then I'm pick, slide, pick, pick, slide, pick, pick, slide, pick, hammer. There's kind of that pick, slide, pick situation going on. Then for E, so again, it's just starting it simply. Then pick, slide, pick. So it's pick, slide, pick, pick, slide, pick, pick, slide, pick. Then F sharp. And D. So you can cover a lot of ground with that pick, slide, pick situation. Again, you'll never really play that exactly like that. It's a little bit too formulaic, but it is a great way in which you can pick a note, slide into the next position and pick it, and then just cover a lot of ground on the guitar. Because you might play something like A, slide up to the next A, then E, slide up the F sharp, D, back to the A. So you can pick and choose how many times you want to slide into the next voicing and where you want to start and where you want to end. Let's listen to that example just once more with the track. All right, so there you go. You can see the approaches of using the 4/2 voicings together with some melodic embellishments as well as some rhythmic embellishments to kind of make some cool sounding guitar parts, and also find a way to easily and effortlessly glide across the neck when you combine these different positions and these different voicings together. So I hope you got a ton out of that. If you did, please leave a comment. Hit the subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed. Share this with a friend. And if you want to improve your playing and you want to get access to tracks like this and more training and tuition like this is what we do all day, every day at the Worship Guitar Skills Academy. We dive deep, we take simple concepts, and we show you how you can get a lot of mileage and traction with your playing by being smart about how you practice and what you learn, and ultimately how you apply that in your own playing, so that not only you're able to play songs confidently and comfortably, but that you are also able to kind of develop your own voice throughout the process, and that you can really release the sound that you feel you want to express in your times of worship, which of course is a great time and experience for you, but it's also using your gifts and abilities to lead other people in that time of worship when it comes to playing on Sundays or wherever you find yourself playing worship guitar. So if you want to find out more about improving that and getting access to everything I've just mentioned, there'll be links in the description below going to more training and more opportunity for you to work more closely with me and my team as we can guide you through this whole process of developing your worship guitar skills. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.